Okay. So, hi everybody. This is the Women's Law Student Association. Here to
Hey
here
there,
to present. Hi,
it's Alyssa.
welcome. We're just going live. We just started.
Great.
So we're here to talk about how to navigate your 1L summer. Today we're going to discuss what we did during our 1L summers, as well as what some of our alumni did and how they kind of used that foundational summer to work through their career. So for me, I'll start. I'll introduce myself. Um, my name is Ernice, and I did my 1L summer at the DC Court of Appeals with Judge Phyllis Thompson and Judge Inez Reed. I kind of split my summer between them, and I also went to summer school. So everybody else can share their experience also.
Okay, we can go from right to left.
Okay. Hi,
Uh-oh.
my name is Modi. I spent my 1L summer at the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law in Washington, D.C.
And hey everyone, I'm Sarah Chandler. I spent my summer, half the summer on the South Africa trip in Cape Town, and the other half with the Judicial Internship for a federal judge in Houston, Judge Vanessa Gilmore.
Janelle.
Hi, everybody. My name is Janelle. I spent my summer here in Washington, D.C. In the D.C. Superior Court with Judge Mott.
Jazarelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Jazarelle. I spent my summer at the DC Superior Court here in DC as well with Judge Sione Lopez.
And our alumni, Alyssa.
Hey guys, I spent my 1L summer, which was quite a while ago, at Van Grack, Axelson, Williamowski, which is a law firm in Rockville, Maryland.
Awesome. So, as everyone can see, everyone has such very different experiences.
Wait, we have one more, Ernice.
Yes. Question?
Or Shri, how did you spend your 1L summer?
I'm Shri.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I spent my 1L summer studying abroad in South Africa. And I did an internship while I was there.
Perfect. Sorry, I didn't think I skipped you. I thought I went straight across.
That's okay.
So, so like I was saying, everybody spent their summers in various places. Some people took the opportunity and went to South Africa, which is an amazing opportunity. So if you would like to apply for that, that's something that you really should look into. And actually, we're going to start that off. I think that would be a great way to start off to talk about your experience in South Africa. Shri, you can start, and then Sarah, you can kind of follow up.
So I had a really good experience in South Africa. There's a couple of different classes you can choose from. And so usually you go to class in the morning and then you have a majority of the afternoon off. And if you plan ahead, Professor Motella will help you get an internship. So through mine, I got to visit some jails in Cape Town. Which was really interesting. I think it's a nice place to be, and you're there long enough that you can go other places. We went to Durban and Johannesburg, so I think it was a good experience.
So when I went to Cape Town, I didn't do an internship. I just took classes, and I found it to be just a really incredible experience because we took comparative constitutional law, and we got to look at the South African Constitution, which is incredibly progressive and really, really interesting. And our professor there was on the highest court in South Africa, Justice Jacob Yacoub, and he was just really, really, really brilliant and would ask us questions about some of the opinions that he wrote, which was kind of funny, but really cool to get that firsthand perspective. And then at the time I was there, we also had international environmental law and international business transactions. So it was a good opportunity to take a look at some classes from the international perspective in Cape Town, which is beautiful. So we got to take a lot of trips around and do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have done ever, like climbing Table Mountain and shark diving. Just lots of really fun stuff. So if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you more about it.
That's amazing. I think that was definitely an amazing experience for a lot of people who spent their time in South Africa for that 1L summer. Do you guys feel at all that it hindered you in any way when you came back the following year looking for positions for your 2L summer? Tree or Sarah?
I don't think it hindered me, but I worked my 2L year, so I think that helped. It made up for not having a traditional work experience over the summer.
I don't think it hindered me at all. I think it was an asset because I could talk to people about Cape Town and the comparative constitutional law class, which is a really unique experience for a 1L summer, I think. A lot of people, I think that's a good thing to have on my resume, and an experience that was like once in a lifetime. I really liked it. So I would say if you have a desire to go there and you want to meet new people, you want to learn about another country, you have the opportunity to intern there too. You can meet some international people to add to your network, people in Cape Town, then go for it. It was a really good time.
Awesome. And then our other alumni, Alyssa, would you like to share about your experience?
Yeah. So my 1L summer didn't start off as traditionally as most people's. Going into that summer, I had anticipated getting a job at a civil rights law firm, but the gentleman doing the hiring decided at the last minute that he wasn't going to have interns. So I spent the summer scrambling to try and find something, and I had to waitress just to make money. But towards the latter half of the summer, I was able to get a job at the law firm Van Grack, Axelson, Williamowski, and ultimately ended up working there my second year and my third year, and got an offer there by the time I was done, and ultimately didn't choose to take it. But I tell you that to say that if things don't materialize for you the way that you plan, and in this environment things are a little bit tougher than they were just a few years ago, then you shouldn't be discouraged. Just keep plugging away and know that things are going to work out for you. And you can have a great experience, even if it's not the traditional one that you had anticipated.
That's awesome advice to definitely share with students who are kind of in that panic phase. And I think a lot of people have that anxiety of trying to find a 1L job, and you feel like you're behind, and it's a lot of anxiety. And so you even sharing your experience where you had it, you had an opportunity and it didn't work out was definitely helpful.
The anxiety, I completely understand. I remember that feeling, and you're going to carry that with you for the rest of your career. I hate to say it, but once you enter this profession, that's what your life is going to be like. So just keep your head up, keep trudging ahead, and keep trying. Like, don't get discouraged if something doesn't work out, because it will work out for you in the long run.
Awesome. That's such good advice. Awesome advice. Sandra, did you want to share your experience?
Sure. So I decided to work at the Lawyers Committee my first summer because I had an interest in civil rights law and in litigation. So I worked in the litigation department at the Lawyers Committee, and there was about 2 or 3 of us that were 1Ls, and it was mostly 2Ls there during the summer. So it was kind of a high expectation for us during the summer. So that was kind of very stressful to meet, but I think it really prepared me for 2L year, because a lot of the places I was interviewing at, a lot of the interviewers were board members, like on the Lawyers Committee, which I hadn't even planned, but it ended up working out well.
Awesome. Okay. And then I know Janelle and I and Jezreel had similar experiences, but I'm sure very unique. So Jezreel, you want to go ahead and share your experience?
Yeah, sure. So the judge I interned for actually did it through the Hispanic Bar Association, and a lot of the bar associations have internship programs where you apply to the bar association and they'll sort of just match you up with a judge that they have that's agreed to participate. So that worked out nice because I didn't have to stress about like finding out a judge, and they each have their different procedures and stuff that I'm sure you guys will explain, talking about how you got your judicial internship. So that was a little bit easier for me to go that route. So I got in my application, I expressed an interest in family law, so I got matched up with a judge who had a child support calendar. So that was really interesting. It did, after a while, get a little bit monotonous because it was really just status hearings and, why aren't you paying child support, and, just kind of the same thing over and over. So my judge was, like, really nice and, encouraged me to go sit in other courtrooms in the D.C. Superior Court. And I think that was a good experience after 1L year, just being able to see different things, from traffic, criminal, civil, and just being able to observe in the courtroom. And so, yeah, it was a great experience.
Awesome. And then, Janelle, did you want to share your experience?
Yeah, so I got my job with the help from actually Professor Worthy. I went and talked to her probably in February, and she really suggested and pushed that I do a judicial internship, and she actually suggested my judge for me as well. So I went down and submitted my stuff, and that's how I got the job. My chambers, I think, are set up pretty differently from a lot of other people who I've spoken to who've had judicial internships, in that Judge Mott hired 6 people, 6 interns, and we did, the same type of work that everyone else would do. We would write the motions and everything, but then he would bring us all into his office after everything. We'd talk to him, but a lot of times he would just sign off on what we wrote, which I thought was really unique. A lot of the other judges I spoke to, they would take it back and they would look at it and they'd think about it, but Judge Mott, after only giving us a little bit of pointers, he would read through it once and really trust us, which I thought was, I thought it was a good teaching technique because it put a lot of pressure on me. Even though he wasn't putting the pressure on, I felt a lot of pressure to do the research, and I think he knew that. And it was just really nice. It was fun. Like I said, it was different than other people because a lot of other interns were the only intern in their office. But so I had 5 other people to laugh with all the time, and it was probably my most fun summer, I think, that I've had in DC because I'm still really good friends with all those people. And very uniquely, I saw my judge at Starbucks on Sunday, and he remembered my name, and he gave me a hug, and he wanted me to go sledding with him over here on the hill at Howard. But it was fun. It was really fun. I learned a lot, and I think I don't even question that it helped my writing skills, and then I walked away from the summer with multiple writing samples that I could choose from. And I think it really helped in terms of getting a job to say that my writing sample was an order that I wrote and that was approved by the judge. So I loved it. I would recommend it for anybody.
And so I also did a judicial internship with the help of Professor Worthy. I didn't have a job, and she asked me towards the end of the semester what was I planning on doing, and I had all these idealistic jobs planned in my head. And she was like, oh, no, girl, you can't do that. So she helped me get a job, the D.C. Court of Appeals, with Judge Phyllis Thompson, but they had already hired someone for the second half of the summer. So she also helped me get a job for the second half of the summer with Judge Reed. And so in working, originally I didn't want to do a judicial internship, but a lot like Janelle said, it definitely helped me with my writing. It helped me a lot with my research. I became a whiz on Lexis, and it really helped me be a lot more efficient, even though you don't really, they're not charging every time you use it. You still don't have a lot of time to really just kind of play with things. You get really good at, your all of your search terms. So, I have an amazing experience with her. I was actually pregnant when I went to go work for her, which she didn't know at first. And halfway through, when I started showing, she was just so happy for me. She ended up throwing me a baby shower, and she was trying to buy me all of these things. I've actually visited her a few times with my son, and she actually wants me to bring him there a lot more often, as if she doesn't have work to do. So, and also with Judge Reed, I ended up not being able to be with her long because I was having a baby. But it was a really good experience to be with a senior, because she was a senior judge. She was just, had a lot of wisdom, a lot of patience. She had a lot of experience, and the way she approached things was just a little bit different than Judge Thompson. And and working with the clerks very closely, it definitely helped me build relationships with them, and it helped me really see how they kind of got to their positions and kind of what they decided to do next. So it definitely was an amazing experience, and I would never change it for the world. I think we want to talk a little bit to our alumni about their next steps. Oh,
Ernie, can I add one thing about a judicial internship too?
yeah, of course.
I just wanted to tell you guys that along with what everyone shared about judicial internships, the really great writing sample, the one-on-one attention with a clerk, and time with the judge, who's got a wealth of experience, you get to sit in the courtroom and see your judge in action, and you get to walk around to different courtrooms and really see civil procedure, which you just learned and maybe didn't understand, really put into action. And I think that internship, that was one thing that I really valued, was that I could actually understand civil procedure because I was watching it, or it really helped my understanding of it a lot. And like Janelle, I was with 2 or 3 other law students, another one from Howard Law, shout out to Lillian, and we had a really good time. And so it's really cool to have like a group of other people who just finished the 1L experience to do an internship with, to share that experience with. It's pretty cool. And so I would definitely recommend that too.
That's good. Yeah, a judicial internship is, people push it, and it's like you do what you feel is best, but at the same time, the value of it is can't be taken away. I do want to talk a little bit to our alumni about, once you get into your 1L summer, about making the best. Or actually, Sandra, I'm sorry. Did you guys have questions that you wanted to
Yeah. Post? Well, no, you can continue with your question, and then we'll ask others after.
Yeah, my question was really just to ask, how you go in, you make the best impression, especially with, let's say you got an offer by the time and got an opportunity to work throughout the school year, talking about, how you made that happen. How did you, shine the brightest and, make the best impact? And then Sheree can talk about your 1L experience and the jobs that you did in South Africa and how you got shined in your position. So go ahead, Alyssa.
Okay. Well, I've been interning since I was in college. And it was always my goal to do a job well enough to be offered a position. And it was a high goal to set for myself at the outset, but that puts you in a mind state of doing the best job you can every day. I mean, sometimes you're going to have to do things that you think are annoying, beneath you. You have to deal with people who might not necessarily be the most pleasant. You're just going to encounter a whole bunch of circumstances. But if you come in saying, hey, I'm going to be the best employee that I can be, so much so that they cannot do this whole thing without me, then you will do well. And that mindset served me pretty well. Every internship I've had, I got a job offer. And as you were talking about your judicial internship, I would definitely echo what you said. I clerked for Judge Jeanette Clark, who Judge Mott knows very well, and that resulted from an internship I had going into my 2L year. So I was an intern in her office with 2 other Howard students, and we were all placed there by Professor Mabry. Some of you may have had her. Excellent professor. And so we were all there working, and I just tried to do the best that I could every time that I came in there. I worked full-time my second year, both semesters, and she asked me to be her law clerk when I graduated, and that's what I ended up doing after I graduated from Howard. And so I say that because you have an opportunity, you're already there, they're looking for talent. They want you to be a success because if they're bringing you in, they're invested in you already. And if you put your best foot forward every day, go in with enthusiasm, be the first to offer to do something. If you're at a firm environment, you need to be asking for assignments. Don't wait for them to come your way. If you are in a judicial clerkship environment, you should be talking to the law clerk. What can I do? How can I help you? What do you need done today? And when you do it to the best of your ability. Don't turn anything in sort of, forgive my French, half-assed. Make sure it's above the best work that you can do, because you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing the school, and it means a lot. So I'll just leave it there and let other people talk.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing it.
And Sheree, did you want to share, your experience that's really unique that
I can't hear you, Ernice.
Sorry. I was like, did you want to go ahead and share about your work experiences while you were
Oh, so I worked with like this group that looked at institutional grievances, like prison grievances, and I would say that when you're in a space where that is very new to you, try to watch and pay attention to how the office runs itself, and try to be like helpful in running the office, or try to do what you can to help things work the way that they can work the best, and ask questions if you don't know what's going on, because it's better not to pretend you know what you're doing if you don't. Especially as a 1L, I think sometimes you feel overwhelmed, like, am I going to be able to do this? You'll be able to do everything you need to do, but if you have questions, ask them.
Go ahead, Sarah and Sandra, with the questions that you guys had.
Okay, sure. So, how do you think? And I think Alyssa, you spoke a lot to this. But Sheree, how do you think your 1L job really helped you get your 2L job? Like, how much do you think it prepared you for that?
Since my 1L summer was studying abroad, and the internship I did was very different than things I might be looking for in my 2L summer. My 2L summer I spent at the ACLU in Atlanta, at the voting rights office. I think that a lot of skills are transferable, so think about how what you're doing in your 1L job relates to skills that are necessary for your 2L job.
Hold on, Sheree, for 1 second. Alyssa, you muted Sheree, and I can't unmute her.
Oh, sorry.
You're muting. It's okay.
How's that?
That works. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, was I muted the whole time?
No,
we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's important, because sometimes your 1L job will lead to your 2L job, but sometimes it doesn't. So I would say just identify what skills you built in your 1L summer and how they can be helpful in your 2L summer.
So I guess that kind of leads into my next question for both you and Alyssa. Did you guys have a mentor that helped you over your 1L summer, that kind of guided you along the way, kind of maybe helped you decide what you wanted to do for your 2L or post law school careers?
I did not have a mentor my 1L summer, but by 2L year, I had Professor Meekins, and she's fantastic. And if you're at all interested in doing any sort of criminal justice related work, she's very helpful. I actually did my 2L, I started working my 2L year at the Public Defender's Office, in the Community Defender Office, and actually my boss in that office has continued to be a mentor to me even until now. So I would say in these jobs that you're doing, build relationships with people that can be helpful to you and who you look at and go, wow, you're really doing something that I think is great. Because you never know how someone can help you, even if it's just motivation, even if it's just talking to you about what you're going through or planning on what to do next. Never underestimate the relationships that you can build.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I'm listening to you guys talk. It's so inspiring, and remembering all these great professors that we have at Howard, and you will see them again.
Did that answer your question?
Again.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Oh, no. I was just saying I echo the sentiment about building relationships while you have the opportunity. You will see your professors, your classmates, Howard alum over and over again. The community is very small. Although we cast a wide net.
I don't see her.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I see her. I don't know why she's, let's see. Alyssa, you had left and came back, so I don't know. I can see her. I don't know.
We can see her fine.
Here.
You guys see me? Yeah. So I would echo that. As far as mentors, I had a host of mentors, professors, Professor Mabry, Professor Rogers. I just sort of talked to everybody, Professor Mtima, Professor Dark. I mean, I recruited everybody. Anybody who would talk to me for more than 5 minutes, I tried to make a mentor. I also made classmates my mentors. We have a
Alyssa must have had a bad connection.
Can I jump in and finish her point?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to add on to what Tree and Alyssa were saying, is that you should really use your classmates and make sure that you keep a good reputation and a good friendship and a good just status with your classmates, because on more than one occasion, both last year and this year, I've helped my classmates get judicial internships they were looking for. I've helped them get jobs at other places that I've worked, or friends that I know who are clerks, or friends that I know who are doing other positions. I've just helped a lot of people get jobs that way, and you never know who in your class, can help you do those things, but no one will help you if they don't think that, you're going to do the work, or that recommending you will look bad on them. Like, I would never recommend someone to my judge who wouldn't do the work, I think, really, really well. And so you want to always, I know people tell you that, but it's so true, and I just think that people underestimate how useful and resourceful and helpful your classmates end up being.
Exactly. Alyssa, you can finish up. I think you had a little bad connection, but...
Sorry about that. I'm on my phone, so people are calling me. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm going to try and switch to my computer in a moment, but I was saying that your classmates, and I think somebody just said this, your classmates...
Hold on, Alyssa, 1 second. So can everybody else see and hear Alyssa?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Okay, go ahead, Alyssa, sorry.
That's right. Your classmates can be a great resource because they have experiences that might extend beyond law school before they got there. So recruit mentors up and down the ranks, I guess would be the long and short of that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on to the next question, I just want to add on to that too. If you're starting your 1L internship and you feel like you have, and this happens to everyone, you feel like you have a stupid question, you feel like you're not getting something and you don't feel comfortable sharing that you don't understand with maybe your mentor or your boss, then it's a really good idea, a really healthy idea to have a close ally from school, or like a professor, maybe a research assistant for a professor, someone that you trust to ask those stupid questions, or someone that you feel like, which aren't stupid, but ones that you think you don't want to share with your job for some reason. I think that's one thing that I did personally when I had a question. I would ask the professor I was research assistant with, who was like very open and helpful, and I would ask friends from school just how their summers are going, and it's just nice to have a person or a couple of people that you can go to if you have questions, and also if you aren't assigned a mentor at your internship. That's just one thing I think is good. And so the next question for Shri and Alyssa is there one thing that you wish you had known your 1L summer that you know now in hindsight? Like something you would have asked, or something you would have taken advantage of, maybe seeing the city more, something like that you wish you had done?
So something actually not for the summer but during the year is if you know you want to stay in DC, you have a really good opportunity during the school year where you have access to a lot of places where you can go that other people fight for over the summer but aren't here during the school year, that you can work at and actually get paid, and get paid more often than sometimes you can over the summer. because sometimes during the school year these agencies need interns and law clerks. So if there's somewhere that you really want to work and you aren't able to get there during the summer, see if they need interns during the school year, because you can take advantage that way. And the only thing about the summer is I think I wish I would have tried a larger variety of internships. I was really focused, and I think that while you're in school is the time to try different areas that may be of interest to you.
That's great. That's great advice. Alyssa?
Definitely. Get exposure to as much of the law as you can. I mean, there's just so much out there, and you kind of don't know what you like and what you don't like until you try it. Myself included, I could have sworn I loved constitutional law, but it wasn't until my second year when I was doing a split internship where I was like, I kind of like it, but I actually love other parts of the law. I love copyright, intellectual property law a lot better. So definitely explore your options, and also know that there are so many types of internships available. I'm in the policy space, and there's a lot of internships in that area, and you can use your legal background. So don't stay firmly committed to just doing sort of the law firm or judicial clerkship thing if you want to explore other areas.
Great, great.
Does anyone from the exec board want to add on to that?
Yeah, I think for me, I was so against doing a judicial internship that I didn't apply to anything, and then by the grace of God, I did get assistance in finding a summer job. But I was so picky because I thought that I knew what I wanted to do, and I was only applying to those specific types of jobs and not really casting my net wide, and that put me in a little bit of trouble. So my advice always to all three of my mentees that I've had since I've been in school were to apply everywhere. You never know how the opportunity is going to turn out, and it may even give you something, a view into something that you didn't even realize that you actually wanted to do. So apply, and even if you feel like you don't qualify, sometimes you still apply because you don't know who's not applying for those jobs, and they may see something in you that they can actually help them in their practice. And so, I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, and sometimes we see these jobs and we feel like 1,000 people are applying for them, and in reality it may be 10. And it may be 10 people who may have already have jobs or may not be completely qualified or may not be what they're looking for. So, kind of take that leap of faith and just apply and put it out there. The worst you can get is a no or no response. But you don't want to leave yourself with such a narrow group of people that you're waiting to hear back from that you end up with nothing like I did. So,
That's such a great point. I want to underline that one. Do not disqualify yourself. If they want to disqualify you, they will.
Right.
So apply. If you see something you like, go for it. Do not take yourself out of the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can I add in a few things? I wrote down a couple things that I wanted to mention. Going back to the South Africa program, I think another thing that's important to consider is the cost. Correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't do the program, but I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than doing summer school. So that's something to consider. And also, I got a lot of discouragement from even some professors about doing the program because they said that it would be hard to find internships and being able to split your summer. But as Sarah can attest to, it's actually not as hard. And I know a couple of my classmates were able to do it too. So those are just other considerations with the South Africa program. Another thing is everyone's going to be talking about what they're doing over the summer, and you might not know what you're doing yet, but don't let that discourage you because a lot of things, it all depends on the organization. They might come in later than others. So for me, I was stressing out, and I almost took something that it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I almost wanted to have something, but I waited until the next week, and 3 other things came in, and it was the judicial internship that I wanted. Also, with the program that I did, they had weekly trainings every week, which I thought was cool. So on top of doing the judicial internship, 1 week we'd have a training in evidence, 1 week we'd have a legal writing training. So I thought that was a really good component of my internship because I felt like I was getting the skills and training that I wanted out of my internship. And I would also add about doing like internships during the school year, take advantage of the externship program. You're going to be really busy, especially 2L year, and so if you can take the externship class, and you'll get credit for it, and it like kind of balances out your schedule because that's one less class you have to take, and you can still get credit for it and be able to do a externship. So, okay, I think that was it.
Can I add something to you? I wanted to add to something that Sarah said about asking questions. This occurred to me last night, actually. I was at a program, and it was a panel of a bunch of African American law firm partners. And I asked a question, and as soon as I asked it, I felt like it was the dumbest question ever. And afterwards, I like wanted to go up to Professor Worthy and be like, "Was that a stupid question?" But I think the problem is that a lot of times we think that they're dumb questions when everyone knows in reality that we're just students, and y'all in particular are 1Ls, and like we know nothing, and people know that. And they don't. I think you look more silly and more unprepared pretending like you know than instead of just asking the question and getting the answer and figuring out so that you give the person what they want in terms of like work product or in terms of just knowing what you're doing. So that's something I work on too, but I think overall as advice it would be helpful for y'all to just not be afraid to ask questions.
And I think one thing that I forgot to mention when we did our judicial internships that, like Jazarelle was saying, they do have some type of skills courses, whereas for us, they gave us opportunities to go to different talks, some that were specifically for the judicial interns and some that were for just everybody that you could kind of go and experience, which was very, very, very unique. And taking advantage of all of those unique experiences. You know, I got to see Attorney General Eric Holder, and I was just like starstruck. You know, you see this person on TV and doing all these different things, and he was just very, very, very laid back. And he, you know, shared a lot about his journey and how he got to where he was, and was very personable. And so that was definitely an amazing experience. And then at the end, towards the end of the summer, we got to see an en banc hearing, and you never, ever really rarely, it's very rare that happens. The judges really never take a case en banc, and so really getting the opportunity to see that was helpful also. And then there was also a third opportunity where a student from, I want to say UDC, I think was actually running the hearing, like he was representing a client in an appeal, and he did an amazing job. And before they even, you know, finished, they were telling him how much of an amazing job he did. And so, you know, you just take advantage of all those opportunities because you never know where they're going to take you to and what's going to happen next. So, you know, and don't be that person who every time they offer you to do something or go somewhere or take you to lunch, you're like, oh, no, thank you. If they're willing to take you to lunch or they want to take you somewhere or they're saying, you know, let's go for a walk, like don't be that workaholic and say, no, I'm okay. You know, those are those personal opportunities where they get to know you and they really get to know what you're about and what your next steps are that can kind of help you when you graduate.
And so I think to like reiterate Ernie's point is make time to network. Don't make it all about just sitting in the office, writing your briefs or writing your memos. Like take time to go to the social aspects of your job, meet different attorneys, talk to your other peers from other schools and see what they're going to. Like always make time to network.
Exactly. Did you guys have any other questions?
Yes, I guess we'll just wrap it up with one final question. What's one tip or one piece of advice that you would share with a 1L starting their summer that you learned during your 1L summer? One, like your favorite takeaway or one thing that you think is really important to go into your internship knowing.
Sheree, do you want to start?
I would say be excited. Like you have spent a year under the library, you know? You probably don't remember what sunlight looks like. So be excited because this is your chance to be around other humans and like actually doing something other than reading a book. And it's okay even if you hate your internship. Use it as an opportunity to develop a skill that you use while you're there. It's not the last thing you're ever going to do. So be excited.
Sorry, I missed that. Did you say be human? Because that's hilarious.
Yeah, we're doing a wrap-up question where basically we were just saying, go ahead, Sarah, you can repeat the question.
I was just going to say, Alyssa, I asked what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone else starting their 1L job?
Okay.
Just one takeaway that you think they should know that and have when they start.
I was thinking about the socializing piece. You know, part of it, yes, you're there to be a legal intern to do the legal job, but people want to like you. They want to get to know you, so don't hide away and not participate. If there's like some work function going on, show up, be a part of it, be exciting, be fun. Don't get crazy. I mean, you're still in a work environment even when it's social, but know that part of what you're doing is getting people to like you, allowing them to get to know you because they want to work with people that they like. So part of it's legal, and then part of it's just being a human, as someone said so aptly earlier.
Exactly. Jessica, you want to share your favorite tip?
Yeah, I think I'll have to piggyback off of that one and just say, like, build lasting relationships. Like, my judge, she had a picnic at the end of the summer and, like, invited me and my whole family, and we all came, and, like, all of our families hung out, and, like, she'll send me, she is actually on maternity leave now. She just had a baby, like, a couple months ago, and she, like, sends me pictures of her daughter all the time, and she's willing to recommend me for anything at any time. So really just build lasting relationships because people are going to look back to those people and call them and say, well, what kind of intern was this person? Because that's always going to be on your resume. So just build positive, lasting relationships.
Now.
So I want to echo, I guess, what everyone said, all of those. To tie in with Jazzy, to build relationships not just with your boss, but also with your coworkers. Because my coworkers were, one is at Georgetown, one's at GW, they're just all over the place. And whenever I need something at those other schools, or we're all going out to work at different places, like I know, kind of similarly in networking, that they have my back as well. And my other point is to have so much fun. My 1L summer was literally the happiest time. I think it's because you're coming off of like the worst time. It was the happiest time. And we just frolicked. We went to every museum. We went to every monument. Like, I lived so much, and it felt so good, and it felt so reviving, and I was so ready to come back to school and work really hard and start for OCI and all of that. I thought it was a really good time to replenish my soul as a person. And I think it's important. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I think it's true, and I think it's important that you 1L year sucks, and I think it's important that you take time to remember, like, that you're a fun person and that you have friends and family and good people and a life.
Can I add one more tip? And I was reminded of it when we were talking about sort of socializing. And we might cover this, but social media. Use it wisely.
I was coming.
Yeah. Okay. I'll wait then.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. You can share your wisdom.
In my era, which, trust me, was not that long ago, we didn't really have a lot of this, so it wasn't a problem. But just know that whatever you post is permanent, and people will find it. People are looking. Your employers don't blog about what a terrible day you're having, how you hate whoever in the office next to you, and they gave you so much work you can't believe it, because trust me, it will get back, and it will not be pretty for you. So just sort of stay away from blogging or Twittering, Instagramming, Tumblring, I mean, whatever, Facebooking about what you're doing day to day. Be very mindful that that's sort of like a permanent record that's following you as you're going through your internship, and people will look at it, and it can have really bad consequences if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
Oh, can I add to that too?
I was gonna say, and that includes, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Ernest.
Oh, I was gonna say, and that includes talking about the school and any of the staff. So
Yeah.
That has cost people their summer positions and future positions. So don't be that person that ruins their career off of a tweet or a Facebook post or a Tumblr post or an Instagram post. A lot of what you do is confidential. So, approach your summer job as if it was your real job as a professional, and your ethics and your character is being, weighed at that moment. So Go ahead, Sandra. I mean, or Sarah, if whatever you want to say.
I was just going to say, yeah, we sign confidentiality agreements when we start our internships. So you should always keep that in mind. And even with the advice that I gave earlier about having a close confidant to ask questions to, remember that you can't reveal things, and that is of the utmost importance, that you have to, like Ernie said, show your employer that you can keep things confidential, and that your ethics are very important to you. So that's really important. So let's get the tips from Shri and Sandra, and then we'll wrap up. Okay.
Go ahead, Sandra.
Okay, sure. So mine is just kind of reiterating the fact about a good writing sample. One of the things I faced during OCI was a lot of them wanted to see my writing sample specifically from this summer, and not necessarily my 1L writing sample. And I had my 1L writing sample all ready to go. And so they wanted to see the work I did this summer. So make sure you have a very, very good writing sample that you want to share to employers, because I think a lot of us just use our 1L legal writing sample. So I want to reiterate, do that.
And Shri, did you already share yours, or did you want to share something?
I cannot hear Alyssa or Jazreel at all, so I don't know if I missed what the question was.
Oh, that we were just, this was still the wrap up, and then Alyssa had joined back in, and so we kind of went around and everyone was just giving their wrap up tip.
Okay.
I think I started with you when I did the wrap up tip, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just share mine. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead, Sarah.
So one thing that I would say, everyone, please do this. Even if it's just like a draft in your email or something, please keep a list of every assignment that you did, because no one else is thinking about that except you. It matters for you. And when you're asking for recommendation letters, references, you want to be able to hand that back to the person and say, would you mind supporting my application? Here's a list of things that I did. And it's much easier to keep note of those things while you're in the process of doing it. And also, keep updating your resume while you're in your internship. Because if you word something, if you have a supervisor, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to look at it and say, this is a good way to word that, or, this is, I would add this for emphasis with what you did. So make sure you're thinking about those things and keeping track of them, because that will be so helpful when you're doing OCI and when you're asking for references.
Right. And if you're going to use something, especially from a judicial internship and even from a corporate job, you make sure you ask permission before you take anything, because you may think that's your writing sample and you may be okay with using that, but they may not be okay, or they may want to look at it and detract certain things that they don't want to share, to make sure they protect the confidentiality of their of the defendants or the plaintiff, whoever's involved in the case. So make sure that you ask permission before you take anything out of that office, and let them know that that will be your 1L sample that you'll be taking back. I think this has been such a helpful talk. I'm so happy that everyone's so open about and supportive of our new ideas. We're trying to get our alumni more involved with our programs, because you guys bring so much wisdom and definitely a different perspective, being a few years out while we're still here in school, finishing out for some of us, and then with Jazarelle finishing out her 2L year. So you guys bring a different perception for us that is definitely really important as we head out. I want to thank Sandra and Sarah for putting this program together and putting in the footwork needed to have this successful program. This program will be permanently on YouTube for the rest of forever, until I ever delete my channel. But it's going to be shared with other students, so that even students who couldn't watch tonight, who couldn't view, they can come back and view. I think Sarah and Sandra wanted to tell the 1Ls to do something so that they could connect them with people in the cities that they're going to.
Yes. Okay, so for everyone watching, if you could please, if you'd like, leave in the comments the city that you're going to be in, and if you want, the position that you're in, and we will do our best. Almost 99% sure we can match you with someone, a 2L or 3L who is in that city, and who can give you advice and share with you, maybe the restaurant they went to, hair salon, what they did in the city, and help you feel a little bit more comfortable if you're going into a new city. So please feel free to add that to the comment section, and we will do that for you. Okay. Yeah. One last thing. Sorry, guys. I'm going to talk for just a second longer. So as you all know, or I think most people know, there was a fire on the undergrad campus in Meridian Hill dorm room. I think it was like the 4th floor. Yeah. So class of 2016, the president of class of 2016 is heading a toiletry drive tomorrow. It's going to be in front of the moot court room. If you all could just bring some toiletries to donate, we're going to try to support them throughout this tragedy and help give to them things that they may need. So I think it's going to be in front of the moot courtroom tomorrow. So please do that, and we'll definitely support you guys too. Great efforts, class of 2016.
Okay. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your schedule and sharing with us. We'll definitely keep Sheree and Alyssa on speed dial for our next talks if we have any more for this semester. And we definitely hope to see you guys at HPILS, plug for now, which will be March 27th at the law school. Please come and support. It's very important. She's worked very hard on it, as well as a lot of the students who put a lot of hours in. So thank you so much for this, and we hope that this helps some of the 1Ls as they go forth and start experiencing the best summer of their life. So have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Good job, guys.
We're so proud of you.